So going one step further, Joe, you mentioned being able to use X as a way to get content ideas. And so if you are not going to use X for anything other than soliciting content ideas, that's a great use case for it as well because of the timeliness of it, but also the conversations that are being had, the hashtags that you can use to sift through content. So it's also just a great platform to listen and sit back and let those conversations come to you.
Yeah, you can go on there, see what's trending, see what's happening with CMS, see what's happening with all, the regulations and what's happening in the government and, what bills are being talked about or being reviewed. Those are the type of things that, that are good to pay attention to. And then you can still, the hashtags are still relevant of following along certain hashtags, but it really is, it's a good platform, I think, for certain topics. Where I think it's not as lucrative is for like lead generation. It's just much harder on that platform. So really it just depends on if you're an agent or advisor, what your goal is. If your goal is to create content that eventually leads into lead generation, you're going to have a much faster path utilizing other channels than you would X. But it is still a good relevant one if you have the capacity to be able to post over there and stay up to, what's in the news and what's going on in our industries.
Right. X becomes a really valuable platform for those who are ready to scale, who are ready to expand their messaging. One tactic that has worked for years and continues to work well is sharing a screenshot of a post on X and sharing that as a feed post on other platforms. That's something that still works. And gosh, what an easy way to cross-post across multiple platforms. Joe, as we wrap up this conversation today, when we're talking about X, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think that we should?
No, I think another thing to keep in mind is just how long people actually spend on the platform. So it's not people aren't spending a ton amount of time there every single day. I think from what I saw, it's no more than 30 minutes a day. And that's multiple times coming in and out, checking it and just scrolling the feed. So you're not talking about a huge behavior and time spent there compared to those other channels. So those are just good things to keep in mind. And again, don't pay attention to the vanity metrics if you are posting over there. Worry more about the engagement metrics. That's where it's going to be key of trying to grow an audience and get your content in front of net new people.
X is where the conversations are happening. So get in, chime in, share your thoughts. And of course, the AmeriLife Marketing Mentors will be with you every step of the way. If you ever need any strategic guidance, that's why we're here. So be sure to follow us across social media and subscribe to the AmeriLife Marketing Mentors on YouTube. Joe, any last words?
Nope, all set.
Awesome. That sounds good. For Jo Barker, I'm David Belleville, and we'll see you next time.